Michelle had called me one day and she said that she had noticed a bump in Chase's arm. And he was very active in gymnastics, and so we really didn't think too much about it. But after a week or so, it really hadn't changed. We took Chase in and took the x-rays with us, and he left the room and was probably gone about 15, 20 minutes, something like that. And when he come back in the room, you could tell by his face that he did not have good news.
Chase turned 9, and the following day was diagnosed with osteosarcoma.
I had my suspicions at that time, and those were confirmed by a biopsy a few days later that he had osteosarcoma in his radius. Osteosarcoma is a bone cancer. This was a fairly large tumor in a pretty small arm. We initially had some discussions about doing an amputation, and after several long conversations, we decided that we would make an attempt to do what we call a limb salvage procedure, which is to take the tumor out and leave the hand and arm behind. The problem was reconstructing to give Chase an arm that he could have good function with. We had a large defect in one of the 2 bones in his forearm. Was missing about 2/3 of the length of that bone.
When I went into the surgery room, I was kind of scared because I thought I was going to lose my arm.
Walking into the operating room to operate on a 9-year-old boy, I have to check my emotions and everything at the door. I have to be a technician when I come in there, and we go into the operating room, and I'm looking at this arm, and I have a picture in my head of what my plan is.
The surgical nurse said, "I'll call you every hour," in the waiting room. And I believe it was the 6th hour the phone rang, and I'll never forget. She said, "I have really, really, really good news." And I knew after 3 reallys she wasn't going to tell me the amputated. She said, "We've started the limb salvage."
After removing the tumor, we did feel as if we'd done a safe surgery by using donated bone. From the bone bank, we were able to reconstruct and give him an arm that provides him with considerably better function than he ever could have had with a prosthetic limb after an amputation.
We knew through the years that organs and eyes and things like that were donated, but we had no idea that people actually donated tissue and bones. Dr. McGarry gave us the option of taking the cancer-fied bone out and transplanting a bone that someone had donated.
We had hoped for similar function, basically pinchers like a prosthetic would have. And we came out with an arm that has 5 fingers that move. He writes his name. He throws a ball. He plays video games. He rides a 4-wheeler.
We had no idea that that was even possible. We always knew about the organ donors and all that kind of stuff, but we really didn't have any idea about becoming a bone donor.
When I woke up, as soon as I did, I looked down, and my mom was coming up in the elevator. I looked at my arm, then looked at Mom. I said, "Mom, look," and all 5 fingers moved.
I can't tell you the hope that gives you and the feeling that gives you.
Chase has almost full function back now. It's interesting how a PlayStation 3 becomes physical therapy. It's done wonders for his fingers and thumb.
Now I can play basketball, baseball, ride my bike, my scooter, go swimming. Me and Dad were going outside, and I asked him if we could play catch. And when I threw it, it went right over Dad's head.
At this point, I can't imagine there's going to be much that's going to ever hold him back in life. And that's why we are so appreciative of the choices that people make. It doesn't affect just the person receiving, it affects the whole family.
One person donating their bones or their body after they're gone can help up to 50 people. We were faced with a loss. Now we are faced with a miracle that we look at every day. And thank God somebody had the forethought to donate their body, their bones, their tissue to someone else who can use them. Thank you.
It's a great legacy for them to leave behind for their loved one. I'd like to say thank you to people that say yes to becoming a donor, a tissue donor, a bone donor. And thank you to MTF for making my child's future look very bright.